How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today, the game between the Saints and Leicester, I was not expecting. I was not expecting such a disgraceful performance from the Saints. Like, at least get on the board to some degree, but they were unable to do it at all. The Saints' performance was so poor. They were they, they were making mistakes left, right, and center. Their handling errors were off the charts. The turnovers were off the charts. How does this happen from champions to this? And I'm not even about to say that Leicester were the superior team. They just made less mistakes than the Saints did. It was around 50th, it was around the 50th minute. Saints had already amassed something like 13, 14 handling errors. Within the first, 12 minutes, Leicester had 3 tries. They started out so strong off the gate. And the Saints, they just couldn't handle it. Like, at all. They were just being broken down left, right, and center. And even then, when they weren't, they were their own worst nightmare. They were practically giving the ball to Leicester. Like, what more could Leicester want? They pretty much had another full team of 15 on their side, giving them the ball to say, "Look here, go score, go score in our end zone." It's like, what happened? How does this happen? The Saints, yes, they had a couple of players that were really, really trying. Hendy, he's always that one key player that you know he's going to be putting in performance. He tried his absolute hardest, but unfortunately the team just was not there around him. They just were not there around them. And Hendy really, really tried. And yes, he did have a couple issues. I think it was the Henry Pollock try where the ball bounced off, hit him off the chest, into the arms, off the head, and then I think it went forward. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that was a knock on? Because there was a lot of back and forth, and even the TMO had questions about it, but the referee kind of shut him down and said, this is my decision. But that led to a Pollock being wide open and ended up scoring a try, which was ultimately disallowed. But what do you guys think in relation to that? Because I think, yes, the Saints didn't exactly have that best of games, but I think they definitely had some decisions not go their way. And I think in certain aspects, yes, they were also very unlucky. I think it was Emmanuel Iogun, his try that was disallowed. I think that was a completely correct decision, but I just feel the Saints at certain points, they just needed that little bit of extra luck on their side, which really, really could have helped them, get that spark and get the game flowing, But at every point, it really felt like the Saints were their own worst enemy, and it kills me to say it because I love the Saints so much. Where people were leaving the stadium at the 70th minute because they understood what was happening. They understood where the game was going. Yes, the second half was much closer than what it was the first, but everybody kind of understood. Look, the Saints are toothless. They're not going to do anything here. We look at them last season, and it was a completely different ball game. Now, yes, the Saints are still without a couple key players, but they had the likes of Dingwall, they had the likes of Finn Smith come back, which is lovely to have. Yes, a big player in Tommy Freeman is a very, very big miss, but it's just one of those things. What could the Saints really have done in this aspect? The entire team underperformed, and it was just handling error after handling error after handling error. And like I say, it's not exactly like Leicester played the Saints out of the box. They were not outplaying them. It's just the Saints were giving them the ball. Leicester didn't really have to work that hard for the Saints to say, oh, you know what, take it. And it just kept happening and happening and happening. It's like, when is this going to end? I think the handling errors were close, well, if not well into the 20s by the end of the game. Leicester at I think it was around 60th minute. 60th minute, Leicester had 4 handling errors. 4 handling errors compared to what? The Saints 18, 19 by that point. Absolutely, absolutely ridiculous. So like I say, it's not exactly like Leicester were this, this amazing team that's playing the brilliant ball. No, it's just the Saints were just having such an abysmal game. And this is why I say it's a disgraceful performance by the Saints, because they know that they can do better. We have seen them do better. And they could have put in such a more dominant performance out there. But they just couldn't keep hold of the ball. Yes, nothing really went their way. And sometimes, you do want to have that little bit of luck on your side, but there was literally just nothing going their way at all today. And this is at Saints Stadium. They home. Not many people come to Northampton and completely shut them out. I was fearing a tight game. I was fearing a high scoring, tight game, very attacking, prominent, and to be leveled up by a couple of points. Especially when you have someone like Andre Pollard, who's just, yes, his kicking could have been a little bit better, a little bit more consistent, and I have very much a love-hate relationship for him, because as a Saints fan, I absolutely hate him. But as a Springbok fan, I love the guy to bits, because I know just how quality is. The guy's boot is on another level. And we saw this in dead ball positions, but also in open play. His grubber kicks to just, let players run. His up and under kicks. The guy was just, he played a bloody brilliant game. Same thing with Jack van Poortvliet, who ended up getting the man of the match. Absolutely stellar performance. And it's performances like this that are really going to get the eye of Borthwick, to give him a little bit more confidence to actually potentially start playing him a lot more often. So Leicester have had some really, really good performances. And I did love it when Dan Cole came on and then Ben Youngs came on. I watched them, I watched their YouTube. So it's weird seeing them actually play. But they came on, they did their job. They did what they were supposed to do. And Leicester, easiest way to say it, Leicester did their job. They got the job done. They got the points. And the Saints were just absolutely abysmal. Absolutely, absolutely abysmal. This is not the Saints that you would expect at home, getting whitewashed by Leicester. Absolutely whitewashed by Leicester. But it does seem that Leicester and the Saints do kind of have this back and forth, where the Saints will destroy Leicester, Leicester will destroy the Saints, and so on. But there's normally at least a couple points in from the opposing team. The Saints got nothing. And it frustrates me. It really, really does frustrate me. Because, again, there were some performances on show. I mean, we saw the likes of Henry Pollock when he came on. The guy, he was an absolute phenomenon. He was everywhere. He's such a strong runner of the ball, continuing that England form in that last game. He just wanted to get that try. And I think if he had to get if the decisions had to go their way, things had to fall right, and Pollock were to get those tries, we could have seen a completely different game, because that would have given the Saints momentum and start really getting the ball going. But they were depleted, they were deflated, they were everything. The Saints literally didn't have, a single breath extra to give to say, look, we deserve this game. At no point do I feel that the Saints deserved a win out of this game at all. Hendy tried whatever he could do, Finn Smith tried, but even Finn Smith didn't exactly have a very good game today. He was shut out by Leicester, and there was nothing that Finn Smith could really do. You know, things didn't fall their way. Seabrook had I wasn't too happy with Seabrook's performance. He just kept running into traffic, But again, I don't know if that's down to Leicester's defense or the Saints' complete inability to break down Leicester and find space. And you know what? Not only that, run phase of play. I don't think they could get more than just a couple phases before turning the ball over. It was just absolutely ridiculous. And again, it was just mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake, which ultimately led to the scoreline. And yeah, I think if the Saints were a little bit better in terms of their handling today, this could have been a completely different game. So I bloody hope they go back to their training ground, and the first thing that they're working on for the entire day is how to handle a bloody ball and how not to give away penalties, especially unnecessary, stupid penalties, which is not needed. But hey, that's just me. Enough of my rant. There's only a couple games left to play. A majority of the Saints games are going to be away from home, so that adds that level of difficulty. I think their next opponent is Sale Sharks, which is they haven't won in a good long while. The Saints aren't anywhere close to even being a shadow of what they were last year, and yeah, obviously having injuries in Six Nations isn't helping. Having a player like Furbank not available is not helping, right? Not having Tommy Freeman, it isn't helping. Um, Obviously, because of the amount of games that he's played and so on, he is taking a rest, which he will be back for the next game. But wow, did the Saints need him? If ever there was a time that the Saints needed Tommy Freeman and Furbank, it was today. It really, really was today. And Andre Pollard just put in an absolute masterclass to show everybody this is how it's done. This is what you're going to miss when I go back to SA. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh on the Saints. Maybe I'm talking absolute BS, but it was an abysmal performance. Absolutely, absolutely abysmal. So, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe, as it really does help my channel grow. And I am going to continue following the Saints, as always, as my name states. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Hopefully, you get a better performance. But, with the Saints, anything's possible. They will beat us one day, and they are then losing like this the next and not being able to get a single point on the board. I'm not crying inside, I promise you. Catch you guys in the next one.